I'm Lee with Aspire Advocacy, and today I wanted to discuss some of the things you can do when you disagree with your child's IEP. So you go to the IEP team meeting, the team tells you what they think, you agree with, one hopes, at least some of it, and disagree with others. What some people do is to simply not sign the IEP while they figure out what they're going to do. And that's something I've done myself back in the past. Unfortunately, some schools have taken a pretty aggressive approach to parents who do that. There's a school near us, actually an entire district, that if the parent doesn't sign the IEP within 5 days, they will send the parent a note. And if the parent doesn't sign in 10 days, then they will take the parent to due process. Personally, I think this is a bit aggressive, but they've told me that's their policy and they intend to adhere to it. What do we do about that? Most of us don't want to end up in due process. That is a legal process where you have to hire an attorney. A lot of it gets settled before the actual court hearing, but it's a lot of expense and a lot of stress. Looking at the IEP, you can sign for the parts you agree with, and then at that point they have a signed IEP. Let's say you agree with the qualifying criteria. They say your child has autism, your child does indeed have autism. Let's say you like that in the services. You think the goals aren't measurable, which a lot of the time we find out is true. Districts do write vague, hard to measure goals and even worse baselines, but you're okay with the qualifying criteria, you're okay with the services. What you can do is choose that second box and say, I agree with this IEP except for, and you can fill in, goals and baselines are not measurable. I agree that district can work on those while we're making them more specific and measurable. This is just a for instance. My point is there's almost always something on an IEP that you can approve, and before you actually go to the point of not signing, talk to your district via email. Don't do it verbally, do it either in an IEP meeting or via email, because then you have a record, and see if you can get them to work on it. If the goals aren't measurable enough, then work with them on that. Same with the baselines. If they say your child needs some help, ask them what that looks like. Ask them to write that down in the baseline and make that specific and measurable. What kind of prompts? How many? Over what period of time? Perfectly reasonable request. You can sign partial acceptance while working on the rest of it, or you can say this to the team, this looks good, however, let's keep working on the goals a bit. And as long as there's that documented conversation back and forth, you're in a good position to not have to sign. So what I don't recommend that you do is go 3 to 6 months without signing though. The problem with that is you give the district the upper hand. If they do decide to go due process, you look like you're not collaborating if you end up in front of a judge, and we hope you won't. And most importantly, your child won't get the new services and or the new goals during that time because you don't have a signed IEP that's current. The district is still following the IEP from the previous year. There are some other tricks and techniques, but I wanted to just give you an overall look at what to do when you don't agree with the IEP so that you don't give the district the upper hand. For more information, or if you'd like to discuss this with me, please call or email me. I'm Lee with Aspire Advocacy, and thanks for watching.